So today we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to start graphing again, but this time using a graphing calculator. Now, normally if we were in the classroom, we would use the Texas Instrument, the TI-84, but for this particular unit, we can get away with an online graphing calculator, and we're going to use the one in the desmos.com site that we've done the turtle activity and the slide activity and so forth. You're going to want a piece of coordinate graph paper. You're going to also want a piece of regular paper to kind of make some guesses. So let me explain what we're going to do. So we're going to explore different kinds of function using the desmos.com graphing calculator. You might want to pause right now, go out and have that site open so that you're able to kind of seamlessly go between the video and the graphing calculator. And when you get out there, you're going to use, there's a keyboard at the bottom, which I will demonstrate, to find the function buttons. So basically you have sort of 4 things to do for each function. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the function rule, and without graphing it, you're going to try to describe what you expect to happen. You know, the general shape of the curve. Is it going to be a V, a parabola, a line? And can you give any information based on the numbers, whether it will be shifted up, will it be wider or narrower? Not specifics necessarily, excuse me. You might be able to give some specifics, but just what do you expect to see? Then you're going to graph it using desmos.com, and you'll sketch it on your coordinate graph paper. And then underneath that sketch, you can give yourself a smiley face or an emoji here of, you know, about how did you think your guess was? How did you do? Okay, so let's try the first one. And this probably won't be seamless for me either because I have to kind of flip back and forth as well. So let's see how we do. Okay, so here is your first function. So in other words, you're going to stop and under A, what do you expect to see when you graph this? What shape? What does the 5 do? What does the negative do? Just words. You don't have to write full sentences, just words here. Then we're going to go, and B is missing because we're going to go to desmos.com and we are going to graph this one. You will give, once you graph it, you'll put it in here, and then you can kind of, you know, on your graph paper, you're going to have a coordinate graph paper. And then next to that, you can give yourself an emoji. Excuse me, is it a happy face, a sad face, or something in between as to how your guesses were up here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head out to my desmos.com, and here it is. So there is a keyboard down the bottom here. If you look at the bottom, we're going to kind of pull that up, and so you can kind of find some of the things you need over here. Okay, so I need y equals, and I'm going to need a negative x. Now to get the squaring, have that keyboard open, and right there would give you the squaring. And then I'm going to move and put a plus 5, right? And voila, there is my graph. So you could, you know, now pause it, the video, and you're going to sketch it in. And each time, that's sort of the plan, is that we're going to kind of go through and see how to type these in. And you're going to kind of make guesses ahead of time and then see how you do with those guesses. So I'm going to go back to the next one. And oh, by the way, there's the answer. Okay. So again, pause as you need to if the video doesn't pause at the spot that you want it to. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. Okay, so here is number 2. You're going to look at this one, make some guesses based on this. What are those lines doing? What is the plus doing? The plus 2 doing? You know, write a couple words in here, and then we'll go out to Desmos and we'll graph that one. Okay, so let's go out. I got to get back out to my Desmos. I want to kind of get rid of him. So my next one is going to be y equals. And you'll notice right down here is the absolute value. And I need an x. And now use your right arrow to get out of the absolute value. And then we're going to put plus 2. Voila. Is that cool or what? Look at that baby. Did you say it was going to be a V? And did you say it was shifted up too? That's kind of what we're kind of expecting to, you know, you to guess and check. And I should have said that on the last one. So when I go back, I'll mention that. So let's go back. So you would, kind of put that V in here on your graph paper so you have it, and then give yourself an emoji based on what you did. I just want to go back to say to this one, I forgot to kind of do that. The negative flipped them upside down. It's a U because it's a squared, oh, by the way, a parabola, and the +5 shifted it up 5 on that axis. So this one was the V of absolute value, and the +2 shifted them up too. Okay, let's see if I can go in the right order now. Okay, so number 3, we're going to go out to the calculator, but before we do, oops, make your guesses, stop. What's the 2 going to do? What do you think the -4 is going to do? Okay, I'm going to go back out to my calculator. I'm going to get rid of that one. And I've got y, oops, of course, be position there, sorry. Y equals 2x minus 4. And there it is. Okay, so you're going to sketch that on your graph paper and give yourself an emoji as to how you did. Let's just move forward so you can see it. There it is. So the -4 is right here. It's that y-intercept. And the 2 is changing the steepness of the line. We'll have more specifics on that in our next unit, but the steepness and how fast it goes up. Okay, you ready for number 4? Ooh, okay. So what is this? What do we expect to see with this? That's sort of my question. Do you have any idea what that might be? So give that a guess. And this one, I got to give you a little bit more specifics how to put this one in. So let's go out and try this one. And I'm going to get rid of him. Okay, open up here again. Now, this one, we're going to have to go get a special function. So you're going to come over to this function button, all kinds of stuff happening. And there are 4 categories up here. Be positioned on the miscellaneous, and it's this floor that we're going to use in a minute. Okay, so we're going to put a 3 in, and then you're going to hit that floor. Okay, and then we are going to put our X in, and if you just kind of move to the right, and look what we got, folks. It's a step function, the greatest integer. Let me just advance here so you can see it. There it is. How'd you do? Did you know it was going to be a step function? And, what did the 3 do? Do you notice here? Now, you have to be careful because this is going, so every 2 blocks is 1. So there's 1, there's 2, there's the 3. So the steps are actually 3 apart. So when the number is out in front, it's separating the steps further. And you might remember we did another one, I think in our last video, that had a number inside and it changed the length of the steps. So a number in front of the X makes the steps longer or shorter. A number out in front of the function spaces the steps further apart. Pretty cool. How'd you do on that one? Okay, number 5. What do you expect to see here? What kind of words can you put? What do you expect to look like? What is the line or the curve going to look like? What family does it belong to? Those types of questions. Put things in here that you know, and then we'll head out to the calculator and see, how'd you do? All righty, let's get rid of the last one and start again. Okay, so we are now on this one that it's going to be pretty easy to put in. We're going to have y equals, and this time the base is 4, and then we need an exponent. So see this a to the b, you're going to click on that, and the exponent is actually the variable this time. Wow, that was instant. And there is our exponential curve, everybody. Exponential curve. I'm going to go back to the presentation, to the movie here. And there's the picture that I just showed you. This is an exponential curve. It's exponential growth. And you might, what did the 4 do? The bigger the base, the faster it grows. So it's shooting up faster, basically. How'd you do? What's your emoji for this one? Oh, okay. So take a look. What do you expect? What's going on here? Some words to describe what you expect to see, what this is. And then we'll go out and we'll put this one in the calculator. All right, out to our calculator. I'm going to get rid of the last one. I'm going to position myself, and we're going to put y equals negative 0.0. What did I do? Not negative 0.5. Negative 0.5. Sorry, not 0. And our x, and now I need it. See, and if we stopped, it would be a line. Look at that, right? It's kind of cool how the picture changes as we type stuff in. But we need an exponent, and this time the exponent's going to be 3. And there is our cubic function. Again, I'm going to go back, and I will show you this one. I have the answer here on the next page. All right, so let's talk about what happened here. The negative actually flipped it. So normally the cubic, I'm going to trace what it normally does, like the parent function kind of does this, and it flipped it around. So it kind of turned it upside down, that negative. Now the x to the third, well, the third is obviously making a cubic. Now, what did the 0.5 do? It stretched this guy so he's wider, basically. So there was 3 things that happened. The 3 makes it a cubic, makes it the hurricane symbol. The negative sort of turned it upside down. So instead of going from the left and up, it goes from the left and down. And then the 0.5 made it wider. All righty, your turn. Some words. Stop and think about what kind of things do I expect to see? First of all, what is this family? What's the shape? What's the -5 going to do? What do I think the 2 is going to do? So just some words, and then we'll go out and see what it does. All right, Mr. Desmos, let's get rid of this one. And this time we are going to put y equals 2. And we need a square root, which is very nicely put right in that keyboard. There he is. I'm going to put my x. Now, guys, listen. You need to take the right arrow and get out of under the root sign, okay? So use and position yourself 1 to the right. Now, that would be the graph of y equals 2 times the square root of x, but we still need to put a minus, and you want that minus to not be under the root. That's why you had to move to the right. And there it is. Whoa, it disappeared. I'm going to click so you can see it. All righty, I'm going to go back. Remember, I always have the answer back out here so you can see it. So let's talk about what happened here. First of all, it's a square root function. So we've got half of the parabola on its side, right? We talked about that. The -5 has shifted him down so that his x-intercept is at -5. And the 2 actually widens him out. So if you look at the parent, he kind of came more like this. So it's made it wider. So the number in front affects whether it's narrower or wider. Okay, the last one is the tough one to type into the Desmos. So this could be a bit of a train wreck as I'm trying to do it as well. So before we go anywhere, this is how we're going to type it in. I kind of put it as a cheat sheet here for you. But right now, can you just give some words? What kind of do you expect to see here? And then we'll go out and we'll type this in together and see how we do. Okay, so let's go out. Get rid of this guy. And you're going to kind of do it with me. But basically what you have to do here is you have to put the interval first and the function second kind of thing. Okay, so you're going to type it with me. And again, remember that I do have it back on that page, kind of when we go back. Okay, so y equals, and you need the brace. The brace is to the right of the P on the regular keyboard on your Chromebook and above the bracket. So you're going to need that brace. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to put X and the less than. So we're putting the interval in first. Oh, by the way, you know this one's a piecewise, right? It's going to be 2 pieces. So for the values X is less than -1, you now have to put a colon, which is above the semicolon to the right of the letter L. Okay, are you with me so far? And then you're going to put your X. Now we're putting the function. And all you have to do, you don't have to put the Y equals because that's already out in front. You're going to put the X, and we need to raise it. So come down here and raise it to the 3rd power. And you've got that piece. You can kind of see it behind the keyboard right now. Now, when you go over to the next piece, I'm going to position myself over to the right to get out of the exponent. Is everybody with me? Hit a comma. And now we're going to do the second piece. We're going to do the interval first, which is x. And we're going to come down is greater than or equal to. And in this case, the -1. So there's the second interval. You're going to put your colon, which again is above the semicolon, to the right of the letter L. And now we have to put the function, which is x minus 1, which we expect to be a line. And then we need to finish this all off, so we're going to put our end brace. I guess you really didn't have to, but, and there is our piecewise. So this piece right here is part of a cubic. It's part of the hurricane symbol. And this piece is part of a line. And this is a discontinuous function. So let me go back. I do have this one over here. So right here, guys, is where I have that typed in so you can see it, how to do it. So interval, colon, function, comma, interval, colon, function, and finish it off. So that's kind of how you have to do that one. And here was the picture that I just showed you. So how'd you do on that one? Did you say that it was going to be part of a cubic and part of a line? You know, did you have that kind of idea? Did you know it was a piecewise? That's kind of what I would have expected. So the Desmos calculator is pretty cool. And what I love for you to do right now is I have done some more of these that I would like you to kind of walk through it yourself this time and see if you can do them kind of on your own. So it's a worksheet that's just giving you 8 functions and 8 little pieces of graph paper, and you're just going to do the same thing with the Desmos calendar on your own. You get done and you're kind of don't need to do any more. You can practice more. You could try some other functions. Just make up your own and see what happens with that graphing calculator. So it was kind of fun to see that. Just to let you know where we're going is we're finally going to say, like, where do we use this in the real world, which means the application, the word problems are coming. And we're going to see some applications for the different function families. So that's pretty cool. Up next. So have some fun with the graphing calculator, and I will see you soon. Have a great day.